Yeah, it's me. I'm Chris Jenkins. I'm with Charlotte Vibe, and I invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel where each and every week I interview players one-on-one. And the cool thing about it is I always say I work for the fans. So I always take questions from you guys, ideas from you all, and I put that into my interviews with these players every week. And something very fun at the end of the interview is I do an activity like Office Olympics, just something really fun. And I don't always win, but that's not the point. Just so you guys can get the chance to see these players as people, not just as guys with helmets on running around on Sundays. It's really cool. So if I have your interest, please click subscribe to my YouTube channel and let me know what you think. All right, we got everything going. I thought I was gonna have a little bad start, but you know what? You guys have stuck me through all of my technical difficulties, and I'm here to proudly tell you, hey, by the way, Chris Johnson, you were beat for the first time. Your streak has now ended. Leroy Miller beat you with the first chat message, but hey, Leroy, glad to see you here. Yes, big win, Chris Johnson. Always great to see you. Hey, I'm Chris Jenkins, credential member of the media for Charlotte Vibe, covering the Carolina Panthers, and today the Carolina Panthers got a huge win after a huge loss last week versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They got a shutout. A shutout. The first time that the Carolina Panthers have had a shutout since, oh man, I didn't write it down in my notes, but I want to say 2015. If I got it incorrect, I'm sure you guys will help me out in the comments below, but I think it's the first shutout since 2015. And I'm definitely sure that it is only the second shutout in the NFL this season. So you know what that means tomorrow is? Can you see the shirt? Can you see the shirt? Here, I want you guys to see the shirt. Victory Monday. Yes. So, hey, if you like this shirt, check it out. There's a link below in the description. Funds help from selling shirts, help support the channel, which I need a lot. I appreciate a lot. Also, hit that like button if you haven't done so. We ask for it, YouTuber people do, because it helps us grow, helps other Panther fans find out about me, Chris Jenkins, man of the people. I work for you guys. I'm the only independent media covering the Carolina Panthers, and I do take questions from you guys and ask coaches and players, which is why I do these live videos, and I hope you're enjoying it. So, win. Fortnite casual, correct. B. Evans, yes. Shaqib Barr, 52 is on vacation. So Shaqib hates, I shouldn't say hates, he really dislikes Tahir Whitehead. Wanted me to ask Coach Rule about if that would be something that we could continue to do. I wouldn't do it, but hey, Shaq, I appreciate you asking. Appreciate the sense of humor. We're going to go over some things, as always, after the game. The players and coaches, they jump on the Zoom call. We have a chance to ask questions. 2 questions I didn't get a chance to ask today. One was in talking with Coach Rule, which I rarely get a chance to ask him a question. There's so many people that are on these Zoom calls. But, no, I'm sorry, with PJ Walker, I want to talk to him about those 2 red zone interceptions. Didn't get a chance to do so. Hopefully I'll get a chance to, well, I don't know, maybe next week, but if Teddy's going to be back, we probably won't get a chance to talk to PJ Walker. So here I am blabbering out in public and thinking to you guys. I'm looking around because I don't have my water, so I'm going to tone my voice down because I won't have any water to go get. So if you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, hop on over to YouTube if you have any questions. Let's go ahead and get started. I've been talking for 3 minutes, right? All right, first up. Oh, let me go over some other scores real quick. I haven't done this before, but I want to start doing this. So we won 20-0. Carolina Panthers are now 4-7. So far, there's only been one other NFC matchup that was played today. That was the New Orleans Saints and the Atlanta Falcons. I can't find my exact score right now, but I think Saints won like 20-6, 20-9. Don't crucify me on that, but I know Saints won. Taysom Hill's running touchdowns. Yeah, that's what happened in that game. So let's go and talk about Coach Matt Rule, who had a talk with the media after the game today. He said right off bat that the defense was the tell of the game today. It was a difference maker in this game today. And I could not agree with him more because our offense, it looked pretty solid running under P.J. Walker, but there was 2 crucial mistakes, 2 very crucial mistakes that could have lost the game, and Coach Matt Rule said it. Fortunately for today, that wasn't the case, wasn't near the case. We won decisively. But those 2 red zone interceptions by P.J. Walker were pretty hard to swallow. But we were able to make it through, and we had a pretty good game plan that was able to do that for us. Rue commented on the good practice that they had last week. Players saying that there was definitely an attention to detail that they went over in practice last week. And not to mention having so many players out today. I know Shaq, you like that he was out, but with so many players out today, and for them to have the performance that they had on both sides of the ball was exceptional. And I continue to get excited about this team for this season and all to come in the future. And let's talk about the decision to play P.J. Walker over Teddy Bridgewater and also Will Grier. Something that Coach Matt Rule said that, hey, he didn't do any coaches talk all week, trying to do smoke and mirrors about what he thought would happen. And I agree with him in the sense that he did say that Teddy would come down to a game time decision. He would take as much time as he could to make the decision on if Teddy Bridgewater was going to go or not. And he took ownership of the decision, saying that it was all his. And the reason that he made the decision was because he felt like Teddy just wasn't 100%. He felt like he was somewhere, 75, 80, 85%. And he didn't want Teddy playing at that level and not being able to be completely himself. And I think he also just had a lot of confidence in P.J. Walker being able to come in and squeeze, sneak a game in where he doesn't have to put his franchise quarterback at risk. And it paid off well. It worked well. P.J. Walker did have a really good game. I know in the media talk with P.J. Walker, he said, and this was interesting, I'm going a little bit out of order, but I'm going to go through all the players that we talked to today, that he likes to get hit early and often to kind of get into the game flow. He said he's always done it in high school and in college. In pros, he can't call his own plays, can't do his own thing and get hit early. But he said certainly once he was able to get hit early, I kind of say later on, but early on in the game, felt like he was able to settle in even more and start to play his game. So, again, I think, I'm stuttering because I'm trying to read my notes as I talk to you guys. In terms of the quarterbacks and being ready today, he said, quarterbacks, especially if you're a backup quarterback, you have to have the mentality that you can go in at any time. You have to prepare the week like you're going to start, like you're going to play. Felt like his quarterbacks did that. He didn't feel like he needed to give them any extra time to be ready for a game because if they're a pro, if they're doing their job, those guys are always ready to go. And he felt like they were and certainly said, hey, not to no fault of his own, P.J. Walker, and this is not talking about those red zone interceptions that took place. There's a little bit of time that it takes for continuity to happen between the quarterbacks and the wide receivers. Felt like things were just a tad bit off early on with PJ and the wide receivers, just from a timing perspective. And also due to the fact that PJ Walker hasn't had all the reps that Teddy has had with these guys. But certainly felt like come the second half, these guys stepped up. And true enough, hey, third quarter performance by this team has been dismal all season long, pretty bad. And today, I think they had 10 points. They don't have the scoring chart right in front of me. Guys, don't start getting on me about not having all these box scores. But I really feel like we scored 10 points in that third quarter, able to move the ball effectively. And great game, great game, great game. Let me go back to some of these comments because that's part of why I go live, is to have comments from you guys. I wish somebody was here to give me some water. I left it downstairs. Let's see. Chris Johnson said, yeah, agreeing with me, last shutout was in 2015. Appreciate you, Chris. Bodrick says, feels good to get a shutout win. Man, this shutout win is really incredible. And it was Brian Burns talked about the fact that they had a different scheme this week than they have in other weeks. And of course, they have different schemes every single week. So let's not jump and say, hey, about time these guys tried something different or tried to have a chess match, because they tried every week. But of course, they tried different things to try to get something to work. And they moved Brian Burns around today a lot. They had him at the defensive end, they had him at the linebacker, they had him standing up, and they were trying to do things to keep the Detroit Lions and Stafford guessing. And, it worked. Obviously, you see the number of sacks that we had. I'm going to bring up some stats here a little bit later. But the sacks that we had today, I think we nearly had half the sacks today that we've had all season. And so certainly you say some of what they did today worked, and they may need to continue to build off of that with how they move Brian Burns around, because he is certainly a guy that is getting a lot of attention from around the league as a young and up and coming talent. Trey Boston mentioned that it's only year 2, and let me go to my notes because I want to get this right. But he called Brian Burns, and I get in the comments. Let me know how you feel about it. But he called Brian Burns their lead dog, being his only his second year in the league, not even completing the second year and a half into the league, and you got veterans calling you the lead dog. So Brian Burns is definitely playing some really, really good football. Taking a look at some of these notes here. Phil Snow has evolved. Okay. So you guys like what Phil Snow did today. PJ need more time to get his eyes right. Comment from Lee Ward. Yeah, certainly, I didn't get a chance to ask him. I really, really wanted to ask him about those calls. He said it's something that's going to haunt him for a minute, having those 2 interceptions. But you just really have to think that it's first year in the NFL, first game in the NFL. Guy's going to have some growing pains, and hopefully he learns from them and he goes back to film study and gets those things corrected and continues to evolve as a quarterback for us, the Carolina Panthers. Michael Jones saying great win. I already got some comments here that I don't understand. Chris, are PJ and Kemba Walker related? You made me say that on live. No, PJ Walker, Kemba Walker, no relation. That would have been a good joke. Glad he did. Shelly Long, you made a comment, glad he did. I'm not sure what your comment was for there, saying glad he did. Defense played like a top 5 defense today with 52 sitting in the stands. Teddy dislikes all hits. Well-deserved. Burrs balled out. So, yeah, some really good things that happened today in the game. Curtis Samuel had a chance to speak with the media today. Says that certainly, I talked to him about his running style because for me, when I'm watching Curtis Samuel, like all of our wide receivers have some good, unique traits, DJ Moore just runs really aggressively and strong after the catch. Robbie Anderson is kind of like snaky. He's like real slithery after a catch. And Curtis Samuel plays a little bit like a running back, scat back after the catch. And I asked him about his running style. I said, yeah, playing running back all those years definitely gives him a skill set of avoiding the tackle. And the spin move that he does, he said none of his moves are premeditated. I wasn't asking from that standpoint, but I was just wondering if he practices elusiveness at any point. He said, no, it's all of it's instinctual for him. And he just goes out there just not wanting to get down. And his celebration, in case you missed it, was playing a video game, specifically Call of Duty. And he said he has another touchdown celebration just in case he gets 2. And he'll just have to put that in his back pocket and use it for a future game. DJ is still our number 1. In my opinion, says Michael Jones. Yeah, so Michael Jones just brought up a point here. If a team can't establish a run against us, they are in trouble. And let me just go ahead and skip around right now because I like to have interactive. I'm just going to completely break my format because I love interactive conversations. We've got people on here leaving comments. So let's break the format and have some good conversation. Good thing, all right, Michael said, if we stop the run, let me see if I can quickly find my stat on that. All right, here we go. So Detroit had 17 carries for 40 yards. They averaged just 2.4 yards per carry. Again, 17 carries, 40 yards. And yes, that is absolutely stopping the run. And that's something that they did and was able to put the Detroit Lions in a pass-first mentality. And then they were able to, because they know that that's what's coming, they were able to capitalize a lot. And getting to Matt Stafford, getting a lot of pressure on him, disguising blitzes. They were able to have a field day out there with him, essentially. So let me put this stat back up here. Who were the leaders on this? Well, it was Brian Burns. He had 5 tackles, 2 sacks, 1 tackle for a loss, 4 quarterback hits, That's quite a bit. And let's see, F.A. Abada. Man, do you guys remember when F.A. was released? When they had made the 53-man roster, then they released him, and everybody was like, oh my gosh, what are they doing? He came back. They were just trying to do, Marty Hurney was trying to get some other assets on the team, and he felt like he could slide F.A. under the radar. Good thing they were able to get him back. F.A. Bada had 2 tackles, 1.5 sacks. One was a tackle for a loss, and he had 2 quarterback hits. So defensively, we were able to play a great game today. Overall, we had 5 sacks, 3 of those tackles for losses, and we had 11 quarterback hits. That is phenomenal. That is very impressive for this team to have that kind of performance they had today. And certainly, you got to give credit to them stopping the run early, getting a few points out on the Lions. They weren't killing them, but they got out ahead of them and making the Detroit Lions go to a pass first type of offense, and they just capitalized on it all day long. All right, let me go ahead and go through some other stats that I have with you guys. Oh, actually, no, I said I was going to go out of order. Let me go back. Brian Burns, when talking to the media, said had lots of favorites today, lots of fun today. There's so much more energy when you're playing with a lead, and when you know that you're getting the offense, the other team off their game plan. And he said that they didn't know where he was coming from. He felt that they didn't know where he was coming from, which is indicative of how he was able to get that sack. And he said that the sack that I'm about to talk about being Brian Burns' favorite sack was when he went completely untouched to the quarterback and got the sack. He said that, number one, he was so excited because he always, was getting attention from the offense, and he didn't get any at all. Coupled with the fact that he was tired, and he got essentially the chance to walk in and sack quarterback Matt Stafford. Best play of the day for him. But he said, yeah, stopping the run early was just so big. And again, reiterating that on practice last week, they put an emphasis on the details, and he felt like everybody picked up on those details, and they were able to play the great game that they were able to get. So here's a comment from Michael Jones. You think Yetur Gross-Matos got a sack too? So yeah, I didn't pull up everybody that got a sack today, but interactive show. Here you go. Everybody that got a sack today. It was Brian Burns with 2 sacks, Zach Kerr with 1 sack, F.A. Abada with 1.5 sacks, Yetur Gross-Matos with a half sack. So those are all your people that got in on Matt Stafford today getting a sack. Moving on up, last up, P.J. Walker. Let me also take a quick look here at the comments. Justin Burrs balled out. Yes, he did. Do I know if Tepper speaks to Rule or the team? So that is a great question. I know that Coach Rule has mentioned that he talks to Tepper. Hadn't got a chance to ask him how often he has any dialogue with Tepper, but that's a good question that I will try to ask Coach Matt Rule this week about how often he's talked to Tepper and any comments that he can share with conversations from Tepper about the team. D. Brown and Kerr showed up to plug the middle. Yep, I agree. So glad that Peterson didn't get any. Yeah, both Peterson and I think it was Johnson. I forget the Detroit other running back. Johnson, Peterson, and Johnson. They didn't do anything. I mean, they didn't do anything at all. So that was great. Yes, I'm happy to be you guys inside man. So actually, let me write that down so make sure I don't forget. Man of the people, you gotta work for you guys and appreciate your support. All right. Oh. All right, so had to write my notes for those questions to ask Coach Matt Rule for you guys, all right? So PJ Walker was asked, hey, when did you know? Did you know earlier in the week? So he said no, he didn't know. They told him to kind of be on alert, but he didn't know. But he said his mindset all week was if Teddy's not going, I'm going. And I'm sure he didn't say that with offense to Will Greer, but it's just like every player in this league is not just wanting to sit on the bench. They're wanting their turn, okay? And they have to have mentalities to be able to perform when they get there. So he said his mindset was if Teddy's not it, it's me. And then he shared a story, man, that, may dig into more, but it was so cool that he said his mom actually had a vision, had a dream. This is PJ Walker saying his mom had a dream about a year ago that he would get the opportunity to play in the NFL, and it would be with the Carolina Panthers. So he said for him that it was just so great to see his mom's dream come true today, that she shared with him like a year ago, and not only get a chance to play in the NFL when he got signed by the Panthers, but then to get his first start in the NFL. So that was something special to hear from him, and you could see him lighten up, just being so happy that he was able to achieve not only accomplishing his mom's dream, but winning in his first game as a starting NFL quarterback. Very cool information. But he said he didn't really catch what Teddy was doing during pre-games to work out. He was just busy getting himself ready for the game. And then after the game started, how supportive was Teddy? He said very supportive. After each play or each time they come off the field, Teddy would come up to him and go over some plays, go over what he saw. And he said that helped him know what to see when Teddy would tell him what he saw and they're looking on the tablets. And it really felt like that was something that was important to his success today. All right, last up was Trey Boston. He agreed that they did disguise things a little more than usual this week than other games to try to throw Matt Stafford off of his game. He said the coaches put in a great game plan. When they're off, they come in Mondays and they review film. They're off Tuesdays. He said that game plan that the coaches implemented on Wednesday and Thursday was impressive. Everybody bought into it, and you saw the results of it today. A great game, great defensive game by the Carolina Panthers. So let me go ahead and go over some stats really quickly. Let's start on the offensive side. That is the wrong graphic. Let's get it right, Chris. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. P.J. Walker. How about this for his first game? 24 for 34, 258 yards, 1 TD, 2 interceptions, and he was sacked 1 time. All right, that's P.J. Walker's stats for today. Moving on. Running backs, and this is a question that I'm gonna write down because I did not get a chance to ask Coach today. Hold on a second while I write my notes. So, question that I have for Coach Matt Rule, again, that I didn't get a chance to ask was, Mike Davis was a starter, but he early on he shared a lot of snaps. Which I didn't expect to see, and I'm curious as to why that happened. But here we go. Wrong graphic. Here we go. Mike Davis had 19 carries, 64 yards, and 1 TD. Rodney Smith almost split, a quarter of the carries, which I feel like is a lot. He had 8 carries for 29 yards. So that's our offensive rushing performance from today. Let's go to these wide receivers. Man, that graphic looks a little messed up. Let me fix this graphic really quickly. I don't like the way that looks. We're going to make this look a little bit better. We're going to do this right here. I'm being a little bit of a perfectionist today. Panthers won. Hey, by the way, again, if you like this shirt, Victory Monday. It's a day early, but it's going to be true. You can check out the link in the description on how to purchase the shirt, which helps support Charlotte Vibe and what I do here. All right, so here we go. A little bit better looking graphic. DJ Moore, who was it that said something earlier? Let me see if I can find it. I'm not going to quickly find it, but somebody said, in their opinion, DJ Moore is still our number one. Hey, DJ Moore had 7 receptions, 127 yards, season high for him. 127 yards, 18.1 yard average, which is almost dead on with his average coming into the game today with 18.2. 11 targets. And check how, it's easy to think, okay, new quarterback, show a lot of favoritism for one guy that he's comfortable with, right? Because you're new, you just want to go with what's safe. But PJ Walker did not just go to DJ Moore. DJ Moore had a great game, but he didn't just go to him. He spread the ball out incredibly well. Everybody, DJ Moore, 11 targets. Curtis Samuel, 10 targets. Robbie Anderson, 9 targets. How much more balanced can you be? Technically, you can get slightly more balance, but great balance today from PJ Walker. Great balance spreading the ball around. Great play calling by the coaches to put him in the opportunity to do so. Curtis Samuel had 8 receptions for 70 yards, 1 TD, and somebody made the comment about Curtis Samuel's touchdown celebration. Yes, he is a big gamer. Curtis Samuel is. So if you're a gamer yourself, follow him on Instagram because he's always doing things on there to try to play others in gaming. So hats off or congratulations to Curtis Samuel on his touchdown. Robbie Anderson bringing up the rear. Surprising to say that, right? But still, this guy had 7 receptions, so he wasn't slack by any means. He had 7 receptions, 46 yards, and 9 targets. Let me make sure I catch up with these comments here. You guys are talking about Tahir Whitehead. So Tahir Whitehead was injured. He wasn't like a coach's decision to play or not to play today. He was injured, so that is why you did not see him today. Teddy Bridgewater, how long is he going to be out? That is unknown, but I don't foresee Teddy missing the upcoming game against Minnesota. For one thing is, you had coach saying that it was a game time decision today in regards to Teddy Bridgewater not playing. I mean, he was darn close to playing today. Given that, I would say he's going to be practically guaranteed to be our starter next week because he was just so much on the cusp of playing today. Add in the fact that he's playing the team that drafted him, the Minnesota Vikings, I say yes, Teddy Bridgewater is going to play next week. But stay tuned. I'll give you the confirmation as soon as Coach Matt Rule does confirm that. Let's see. Shelly's mad. All right, let's go ahead and get to my last graphic here, which would be... Actually, I went through them all because I went out of order with you guys and talking about the defense. So there you have that. Let me not mess up my graphics here. A few other things I want to talk about before I get out of here. Didn't have screenshots for it. I was trying to think about my overall opinion on this game. Was it good? Was it great? Did we make a turnaround? So I think I'd give us a, man, I don't know what I'm ready to give other than saying that defense really stepped up today. Was aided by the run defense, shutting down Detroit and making them go to passing. And then when they went to the passing, they had a great game plan of having things disguised very well to throw Matt Stafford off his game. More importantly, I guess, be able to throw the offensive line off the game where they didn't know where these guys were going to be coming from, allowing them to get lots of pressure on Matt Stafford, forcing him into holding the ball too long, which was also aided by the fact that the corners and the secondary was doing a very good job of covering guys to allow the linemen to get to Stafford and get those sacks and get all those quarterback hits. We lost the turnover game today. We had 2. Most of those, or all of those, were quarterback interceptions and PJ Walker in the red zone. We did have 1 turnover that we forced against Detroit. So sometimes when you lose the turnover battle, or oftentimes when this team, being young, loses that turnover battle, they put themselves in a deficit. But today, defense again was so strong that was not able to affect us. Time of possession was heavily in our favor as well. We ate up the clock a lot. I think it was more than this, but it ended up being time of possession 23 minutes for the Detroit Lions and 36 minutes for the Carolina Panthers, which allowed us to get off a lot more plays. We had 15 more plays than the Detroit Lions. They had 55. We had 70. Now, third down efficiency, something that's been eating us up. We improved dramatically on that today, and we were forcing them to punt the ball and to punt the ball and to punt the ball, something you're not used to seeing this team do. They were 3 for 14 on third down conversions, okay? That's not that great. Red zone, we were perfect. At one point, 10 for 10, leading the league in that red zone efficiency. But we were just 2 for 5 today overall. Again, the biggest thing with that red zone efficiency being the interceptions that P.J. Walker threw for us today. So Michael Jones can't wait to watch the game, rewatch the game tonight. Vikings are up next. What's my prediction? I don't know yet. I have to continue to prepare and do some more things about this week and preparing to talk to the coach tomorrow to get some questions answered for you guys. So, hey, I'm about to sign off, but again, Chris Jenkins, man of the people, self-proclaimed. Well, Cody helped give me that name, man of the people. I work for you guys, really like to be the connection between the fans and the players. Being an independent media allows me to do that. So I have some homework to get some questions answered for you guys. Hopefully I'll be able to get those answered by Coach Matt Rule tomorrow and report them back. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and consider buying a shirt. All right. Hey, Chris Jenkins, credential member of the media for Charlotte Vibe. You guys take care and enjoy your Sunday. And